Welcome to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. It's presented by the great folks at Central Ozarks Medical Center, where your health is their mission. And today we've got Pastor Tim Anna on with us from the Centerpoint Assembly of God. You just changed your name.
Yes, we did. It has been Osage Beach First Assembly of God for the past 49 years.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Why the change?
Actually, at one point it was called Chapel at the Lake, and then they made a change about 10 years later. It's kind of a new start.
Yeah.
I've been there 24 years.
24.
And we went through a course about a year ago that talked about rebranding and kind of reinventing yourself in your community. We're not a huge church. We're a small church that kind of sits back off of the Parkway right in front of the library in Osage Beach.
Yeah.
And we felt like now was a really good time to kind of redo our look a bit, you know. So Centerpoint, I wanted to do Crosspoint, but we have a camp and retreat center on the other side of the lake in Rocky Mount that's called Crosspoint. And so Centerpoint is what really, I thought was a perfect fit, because Osage Beach, and right where we're at, is the center point of Osage Beach, and it's the center point of the lake. And
kind of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. So, for years we've, been right across from the outlet mall.
Yeah.
Well, of course, all of that is changing.
Yep.
And I'm excited about that. I think that's just going to be a great opportunity to see some new traffic coming through.
Bass Pro going in there.
Absolutely.
I mean, wow.
I don't want to be one of those people that says, I've been saying that for years. Actually, I have. Bass Pro down in Springfield has an outlet right next door. They bought an old bowling alley, and I shop that outlet every time I go down to Springfield. Well, I've been saying for years that the bank and that building there in front would make a perfect outlet, for their fishing gear and things like that here at the Lake of the Ozarks. So, man.
I'm kind of surprised they weren't here already, but it's about time. Better late than never.
I'm a Bass Pro Club card holder.
There you go. As a lot of people are at the lake. So the main reason we asked you to come on with us, Tim, is because BikeFest, it's BikeFest time.
Yes.
Which is a big time at the Lake of the Ozarks. And you play a big part in that. What do you guys do surrounding BikeFest at the Lake of the Ozarks?
Well, BikeFest is September the 10th through the 14th. Starts Wednesday at 12 o'clock. And that's as far as the Passport Run goes. Now, if you're not familiar with the Passport Run, the Lake Area Visitors Bureau, I believe, works in conjunction with other agencies, and there's about 20 stops that are on this passport that you purchase for $25. And every person that purchases one, they can put the back page of their passport in a drawing for a brand new motorcycle. In fact, last year they gave away 3 motorcycles: a Harley Davidson from Lake of the Ozarks Harley Davidson, and then I believe 2 motorcycles, or a motorcycle and ATV from Surdyke, Yamaha. So what a fantastic opportunity. It brings people into the lake, and literally, Chris, we have seen people come from all over the world.
Yeah.
We are a passport stop at the church, and so we get to see bikes coming in, and there's usually 1,000 to 1,200, maybe 1,500 bikes that will come through our church parking lot doing this passport run.
Wow.
And it takes them all the way around the lake, all the way up. This year they added a stop in Versailles at the Versailles Ministry House, which is right downtown Versailles. So now everybody is going to be traveling the circle around the lake, which is going to be fantastic. Because as you know, and we all know that live here, that this is just another day in paradise for us.
Absolutely.
We live it and love it. But there are a lot of people that are really discovering the Lake of the Ozarks. And BikeFest, this is our 15th year to do what I call the outdoor biker service. That's how we started 15 years ago. We started underneath a little bitty tent in the back parking lot of the church. I think we had 14 or 15 motorcycles there that first Sunday.
Yeah.
But now we are at the Harley Davidson dealership underneath their big tent in the back. And if you go up there during BikeFest, you'll see the big tent. You can't miss it. And so we're back there, and we'll have between 400 and 500 people that'll be underneath of that tent for the events of that morning.
Wow. And this is not something new for you guys.
No.
It's like 15 years in a row or something like that?
15 years for us. I believe this is the 18th year for BikeFest. So early on, I believe that God just inspired me and our church to do something different, and this is an outreach that has really stuck. The people are really behind it. We have a lot of fun doing it. When people come to the passport stop, for instance, we offer free refreshments, so water, Gatorade, sodas, things like that. The first couple of years, we gave away more coffee and hot chocolate than we did any water. That's how cold it was back then. But now, climate change.
Yeah, it's a little bit warmer, right?
It's a little bit warmer. I hope we get a break from this 100-degree weather we're having right now. But it's just interesting to see over the years how things have changed and how they've progressed. About 5 years ago, Jack Fleming from the Lake of the Ozarks Harley-Davidson invited us to come underneath of his tent, which is a great benefit to him because they do the motorcycle giveaways at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Well, we, starting on Thursday morning, offer a free breakfast to the staff there at the dealership, to the vendors that are there, and then also to any of the motorcyclists that will come. So from 7:30 to 9:30, starting on Thursday morning, we're serving a free breakfast. Now, the first couple of years we did that, we were serving maybe 100 to 200 people the whole weekend. Now we're serving about 1,500 people. Last year, it was about 1,500 people that we fed a free breakfast. And, you're not just getting a little pancake and a little piece of sausage. You're getting some days it's steak and eggs to order. Some days it's fried potatoes with brisket in them. And, so it could be everyday pancakes, though. So every day we have pancakes and sausage. That's
I
for
know
sure.
where I
Or
want to be
pancakes
during
and breakfast.
BikeFest.
Come on by. I'll buy you breakfast.
Wow,
How's that sound?
That sounds pretty good.
And, I have to tell you, this is the first year. We don't take any donations. Not for any of this. Not from any of the bikers. One of the reasons why is Chris, I've been a motorcyclist all my life. That was my first vehicle, was a motorcycle, a Honda. And everywhere you go, I just got back from Sturgis. You contacted me while I was out there.
Right, yeah.
Everywhere you go, water is $3 to $5. Food is, I paid $45 for a paper bowl of Chinese food, at one of the venues. It's kind of embarrassing to say that, but, that's where you're at and that's what you get to eat. Ours is free because I want the motorcyclists that come to the lake to understand that we don't want anything from them. This is just our opportunity to give to them. Now, I will say that this year is a special year. Aaron Sachs and Associates, I'm sure you've heard of them from Springfield. They've stepped up and they're sponsoring our breakfast throughout that whole weekend. So
Add
they've
some
already
meat
given
to the
us
list right there.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So that frees up quite a bit of money for me to be able to do some extra things. So being the 15th year of our outdoor biker service, as a church, we kind of stepped out on the wild side, I guess you could say. The dealerships can give away motorcycles. Big businesses, we're a nonprofit, we're a small church. So over the past 12 years, we've been doing something a little different. I'll give away an AR-15 to just the passport holders that come back to the service. Okay? So you got to sign up at our tent at the church, and then if you come back to the service, we'll enter your name into the drawing for an AR-15. For everybody that shows up that's 18 or older, we give away a tactical shotgun. And we've done this now for years. It's really a lot of fun. People love it. Well, this is our 15th year, so I felt like we needed to go big or go home.
How can you go bigger than that?
Well, we're going to give away 5 guns this year, and we'll give away 15 prizes total. So
okay, it's Pastor Tim Anna. Man, you got a
guns
lot.
and Harley Davidson.
You got a lot going on there. So we'll have more with Pastor Tim Anna when we come back on the COMC Community Spotlight Show. Central Ozarks Medical Center, voted Missouri's best and best at the lake, is recruiting team members due to growth. Amazing employment opportunities for both medical and non-medical positions with competitive salaries and outstanding perks. For more information, go to the Careers tab at centralozarks.org. COMC for the best medical, dental, and behavioral health care. Join a leader. Join our team. COMC, where your health is our mission. If you love the lake, you gotta love Lake TV. Welcome back to the COMC Community Spotlight Show. Pastor Tim Anna with us. BikeFest, you play a big role in BikeFest right out there at Lake of the Ozark Harley-Davidson under the tent there, giving away bikes, giving away guns, giving away a whole bunch of stuff out there. But you're there, I mean, you're a pastor and you're there to kind of share the gospel, I think, with the people that come through. Do you make a difference? Have you noticed that you make a difference doing that?
Absolutely.
Do people hear what you're saying?
They do. Absolutely. I know this might not make the greatest impression.
Yeah.
Okay. But as the pastor of a church, sometimes it's difficult to really experience a lot of soul winning, okay, leading people to Christ. But over the past 15 years, we've had close to 100 people that have given their hearts to the Lord by raising their hand or coming, to talk to me during our outdoor biker service. So I think that's an incredible opportunity. This is not promoting our church. That's not what this is about. This is about reaching bikers that are just like you and I. Yep. Most people think of one percenters, they think of the outlaws, but the reality of it is that people just like you and I, like, while I'm out at Sturgis or anywhere else riding my motorcycle, people don't realize that I'm the pastor of a church and at Lake of the Ozarks, in Missouri. They don't know who I am. I can tell you some funny stories about that later, but we'll save those. The impact that we have on people's lives is that they can come, when they come to the church for their passport stop, we do bike blessings. Well, now, as a pastor, the blessing is more important for the person than it is for their bike.
Sure.
Of course, we want them to travel safely. We want their motorcycle to run, the way that it should. But I can't tell you the number of times when we've taken time to pray, and we always ask the person that we are going to bless their bike if there's anything that we can pray with them about. I can't tell you the number of times where men that, full beards and just tattooed up, and people that you think were just as rough as could be, just break down in tears and say, I've got kids, or I've got grandkids, or my spouse is, suffering cancer. We've been going through this or that. It's an opportunity for ministry like I've never experienced. And we will pray with hundreds of people like that.
Wow.
Hundreds of people. Some will be like, yeah, sure, whatever, give me a sticker and a poker chip and I'm on my way. But hundreds of people literally will let us pray with them. Wow. Over their needs. And, that may be the one time a year that they have any encouragement to pray and to give their needs to the Lord. And that's what we're there for.
And over the years that there's been hundreds of people that got saved. What you don't know is the hundreds or maybe even the thousands that you've touched that you don't know about.
Right, absolutely. You never know completely what kind of a harvest is out there. But the truth is that we do it because we love the people. It doesn't matter if you're riding a Honda or a Harley. That doesn't matter to us. Right. What matters is that you've come to the Lake of the Ozarks. We want to send you away with something more than what you came with, and not just stuff, but a true opportunity to be touched by God. Absolutely. I want to tell you one other quick story. Okay. And that is that last year I had my first opportunity to do a wedding at BikeFest.
Really?
So after our morning service and in between the band that we had scheduled, we scheduled a worship band in between our service and the bike giveaway. I got to do a wedding for a couple that had been to 12 of the previous 14 outdoor biker services. So what a cool opportunity. You have an impact on people's lives. Even though they don't live here, they know who you are. And it's funny, the places that I'll go. I was in Jack's, sporting goods a few weeks ago. The guy across the counter from me says, "Hey, Pastor, how are you?" And I said, "I'm great. How are you?" And he's long hair, long beard. And he said, "Just a reminder, I won the shotgun last year." And I said, "Well, fantastic. How's it going?" And he had a story to go along with that too. So what a great opportunity to meet people and impact their lives.
No doubt.
Thank you.
So we're running out of time, but real quickly, if people want to get info on your church, Centerpoint Assembly of God, how do they do that?
They can go to centerpointob for Osage Beach .org or .com,
Okay.
and they can get that information starting the middle of this week, because we're just kicking off our website. We're kicking off an app. We've got a QR code, all of those things that go along with it. So,
Cool. Okay.
yeah,
There he is,
absolutely.
Pastor Tim Anna, Centerpoint Assembly of God in Osage Beach. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us for the COMC Community Spotlight Show.